All right, so what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, man. It's your boy. And for this one, I actually wanted to give you guys a follow-up video on Gwenpool, since in case you couldn't tell, I actually put some more work into the character, got her into the top 500, and there's still a lot more work to be done. But what I want to say to you guys and what I want to show you in this one is that this uniform is actually pretty freaking awesome. It definitely is a major upgrade for Gwenpool, and it makes me even more so stand behind what I initially said, that this uniform, it may be exclusive this time around, but it definitely needs to come back at some point, a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, however long, right? It needs to come back at some point and be sold for crystals, because it's definitely a good upgrade for the character, and it feels really bad to know that some of you guys out there are die-hard fans for Gwenpool, and she finally got a good uniform after all this time, and you probably won't have access to it if you are free to play, right? Feels really bad. So check it out. What I've actually done so far is actually try to min-max her a little bit. Still need to do a little bit more work, but we have some physical attack and some critical rate on her, and because of that, this is what her stats are currently looking like. So attack speed is all right. We got some crit rate in her now, so like almost 50% for the crit rate. The dodge is at 50%, and we got 161 for critical damage, and the ignore defense is basically capped off, and so is the cooldown. The reason why I left her crit damage at 161 is because I'm toying with the idea of slapping a CTP of energy on her, just for shits and giggles, to see how it turned out, because her uniform bonus is offering her a lot of chain hit damage. So because of that, it may actually make it so that the CTP of energy is perfect for Gwendolyn. However, in addition to that, I kind of want to test her out with a CTP of rage, so I decided, you know what, let's be cheeky and get her crit rate and her crit damage in line. Whereas if I give her even the lowest possible rolls, right, actually it could get lower than this, but still a low roll on a CTP of rage, like 20%, 25%, I can possibly cap off the crit rate and the dodge, and we could actually have some fun with Gwendolyn. So that's my train of thought. That's why I set her up like this, and I didn't fully max out anything, right? So keep that in mind. ISO set still looking the same, still the same custom gear here, but I did actually get her uniform to legendary. That's because I've had a lot of biometrics sitting around for Gwenpool for quite some time, because she was farmable in special missions, and she is still farmable. You can get her from the support shop if you want bios after you pick up the uniform, so there's no need to pick up tickets to use on her. That would be very wasteful. Okay, so that being said, boys, we're gonna jump into a little bit more content here. I want to show you guys something, because after my last video, I seen a couple of you guys hitting me up saying, yo, now that she has cold damage, how does she perform against Ebony Maw? One thing you guys always need to keep in mind is, even though she's a cold damage character, she's still physical based. Okay, she's still a physical based character, so she's gonna take a major damage reduction in this stage. However, she can actually do decent damage, and you don't even need to give her any defense down. But once you give her defense down, it actually gets pretty good. Now, because of the fact that Ebony likes to iframe a whole lot, you kind of want to use her with somebody who has crowd control like Rachel or Scarlet Witch. I know it kind of makes the fight kind of boring, but if you don't, she's gonna get interrupted on her 4th skill and sometimes on her 5th skill as well, right? So we just ideally want to keep this guy in place, and you'll see like Gwenpool can actually do some damage, but not a whole lot, because like I said, she's physical based. But with Rachel's help, and if I could get the proc to stay where I wanted to go, right, she could actually like slowly chip away at like a stage 50 here, which isn't too bad for a level 60 character that doesn't have a CTP or nothing like that. And I got frozen there, but this is still a very powerful setup with Nick Fury and Phil Coulson. Again, you always need to consider where the character is coming from. Basically, couldn't do like, I would say, more than like 35 or so, maybe 40 at most by herself, right, with this exact same build in the previous uniform. Or hold up, the base kit would just not even register damage outside of Shadowland. So again, this is a good upgrade for Gwendolyn. I'm very happy she got a uniform. However, the way how it's acquired still rubs me the wrong way, right? And I feel like it could just like start something that we don't want to be started, like, you know, the old school Captain Marvel situation. We don't want to go back there, okay? We don't want to go back there. So you can see, like, with the crowd control from Rachel, we actually put in work, and she can slowly like chip away at this guy, even though she's a physical based character, right? And it gets even better if you do something like this. So check this out, boys. We're gonna scale this up to like a stage 60, right? Let's actually go 60. And what we're gonna do here is put some defense down strikers in here. Two of the best, Weapon X and Negasonic. We're gonna leave Wade out of this, right? Or Wanda in this case, right? And I'm gonna show you guys how much better she becomes once you give her some defense down, right? Because then you get to stack her cold defense down with the regular defense down. And it gets pretty good. It gets really good when you get that thing to line up perfectly. All right, so you're gonna go boom, and our proc is a little bit late there, but it's okay. And you see what I'm talking about? That was that nice spike there. This is stage 60. Say what you want. The strikers are helping a lot. We know that, right? But this is stage 60 with a level 60 Gwenpool, okay? I never thought I would see Gwenpool, level 60 or not, doing stage 60 in 2019 against any boss. I'm just saying, right? And again, I know you guys can be like, oh, this is Ebony. You're going to say every excuse in the book, but it's still a very good upgrade. And she is actually super fun to play. And again, if she wasn't fun, and if she wasn't powerful, and if this wasn't a good upgrade, I wouldn't care less if they were selling it for money, right? Because yeah, it would just be garbage that people can just have the option to pick up, like me, if you're a really big fan. But because it's good, because it's fun, right? I want everybody to have access to it. And I know not everybody can have access to everything, but it feels really bad because it's a seasonal uniform. And again, exclusivity is fine, right? I'm okay with it being how it is, and like they can treat it like how they do like with PlayStation exclusives, right? Different company, but same thing, kinda, right? Where you release a uniform like this and you say, you know what, the paying players, they get like a 6-month advance on the uniform, where it's only going to be available for people who spend money for 6 months, and after that we're going to convert it to selling for crystals. I'll be okay with that. But again, not knowing if this is going to stay like this forever or just go away after this sale and never come back just rubs me the wrong way, right? I don't like to feel like just being free to play because you cannot afford to spend, because where you live in the world, things are just more expensive, right? I feel like excluding players just because of that is not good. I don't know. Maybe it's just me being a sucker, but yeah, I know some people, they're in a situation where they can afford it, but they just say, you know what, it's a mobile game, so it's less than, so I'm not gonna spend on it. But I'm not talking about those people or for those people. I'm talking about the people who actually really love the game, and they're in a part of the world where they really cannot afford to spend like money on the game, right? Or maybe even the store is not accessible in their corner of the world, right? So I mainly speak for those people. And you can see like, geez, Gwenpool is cutting through 60 here, probably could go up to like 65 with only 2 defense down strikers. That's really good for a level 60 character. So I was kind of salty when she didn't get her potential, but it's looking like she doesn't even need her potential right now. And it could mean that we'll see an update later on, maybe in like 2020, right? Where the new Avengers like Hulkling, White Tiger, and the likes get a solid rework, and Gwenpool then gets her level 70 and another uniform, which makes it so that this whole debacle that we're having right now over this uniform's exclusivity doesn't even matter. Nonetheless, I would still feel kind of salty if this was permanently locked behind cash, or worse, if it never came back and it just kind of like set and collected dust, kind of like the Captain Marvel uniform, because this uniform is really dope and I would like everyone to have access to it. Now, this is a stage 20 Thanos with a level 60 character, so don't expect great things, but she still actually puts in work, and that's what I want to show you guys here. Stage 20 without strikers, right, is generally where most like level 70 characters on my roster get tested, and Gwenpool actually does decent there. And I actually interrupted her skill a little bit too soon there. Nice. let's actually tag Fury in. We're gonna do a lot of buffs, because why not? Why not use it? Because we got it. Okay. What are you gonna do? I knew you were gonna do that. You're the most amount of annoying. Love you though. Stupid raisin. Oh really? Okay. Nice. I wish the cooldown on the fifth skill was like, I don't know, a second and a half, 2 seconds shorter. It would be perfect. Actually, why did I do that? Why did I do that? We never use Fury for the running. Coulson does the running. Yo, Phenom, I'll join you when I can, brother. Okay. Really? Tag Fury in? Got caught up in that. Okay. So for me, if the proc actually comes late, what I like to do is just like let the snowman form, and I'll just cancel into the 4. You just gotta watch out, because against Thanos, she can get debuffed for her invincibility and then get clapped. And that's why I invested a good bit into dodge, because that's gonna synergize really nicely with the fact that she now has guaranteed dodge as a part of her tier 2 passive, and you're gonna die, ain't you? Okay, so we're gonna watch and see what this guy's gonna do. I don't want to pass the buff if he's just gonna do that super titan punch. What is he gonna do now? Okay, yep, I knew you were gonna do that, and he killed my Gwenpool. That's really annoying, but you guys see where this was going. I made a mistake there, but it is what it is. I just wanted to highlight the fact that she's actually pretty freaking dope in this uniform, and I will be investing a little bit more into her and showing you guys a little bit more of what Gwenpool can do at level 60. I think she's much better than a lot of the level 60 characters in the game, and better than some of the level 70s that we think are really good. It's actually interesting how well she's performing right now with such a, I wouldn't say mediocre build, I say average build, right? Because she's starting to look like she may actually be better, like much better than people like Winter Soldier, Ronin, etc. And sad part is, I kind of can say it right now with like 100% certainty. Gwenpool is actually better than Domino. Kind of sad to say that when I've invested a good bit into Domino, right, gear 25 and all, but unfortunately I feel like if I did a side-by-side comparison between the two right now, Gwenpool would easily win. Not only are her skills like way more appealing to look at, she kind of feels more fun to play than Domino, and she hits harder, and her survivability is either just as good or actually better because she heals. So feels bad, man, but I love Gwenpool because she's a pool, and you guys know I love everything pool. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Leave your thoughts in the comments. I know some of you guys are going to be salty just by the mere fact that I'm giving this uniform light, but ultimately at the end of the day, I'll say it and I'll say it and I'll say it again. I love the uniform. It's amazing. It's a really good upgrade for the character. The only problem I have with the uniform as a whole is the acquisition model. Okay, that's it. Everything else about the uniform is fantastic. And if we could get some communication from the Marvel Future Fight team, letting us know what their plans are going to be going forward for this uniform and other uniforms in the future, that would be really nice. But don't hold your breath, guys. You know how these guys are sometimes. So till next time, stay safe. I love y'all. Peace out.